internships. So before we get into the details of the internships, could you tell me a little bit about how you found out about these internships and how you applied for them?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first internship that I had that was really kind of an official one was at the Mulvane, which is in Topeka. That's my hometown. And I was looking for something that was pretty local to me. I wanted to stay closer to home. And thankfully the Mulvane is a thriving art museum that's in Topeka at Washburn University. And I just went in and I asked them if they would have anything open for me. And sure enough, they just they needed somebody to hang shows, and there was a special accessioning process that they needed to work through, and I just kind of came in at the right time.
Nice.
Now the second one.
Was it a paid internship, unpaid? Was it over the summer? How many weeks did it go?
It was probably about 12 weeks. Since it's been so long, I think I walked in very early in the summer, and they took me as late as they possibly could into the summer.
Wow.
So pretty much that full stretch, and it was a paid position. Yeah. Now my other internship came after my time at the Mulvane, and I was looking for something a little bit more national. I was older, and it was a little bit more likely to kind of get away from Kansas a little bit, and landed a position at the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
And what was the application process like?
The application process, and I was trying to recall this. Of course, they wanted to see stuff like writing samples. They wanted to see a resume. They were interested in my academic pursuits and extracurriculars, all that sort of thing. And then I sent it in, and I think there was one interview where we really kind of, it really seemed like it was kind of like the first pass for them. And then after that, they kind of did more of a second interview, which was a little bit more detailed.
Got it. And so you were there for the entire summer? I
was also in Philadelphia.
And was it paid as well? Or?
This one was unpaid. This one was different.
Unpaid. Yeah. Wow. Well, did they at least help you with finding housing, or?
They did give us, resources to find housing, but there was not a stipend. And I don't know if that's changed since. A lot of these definitely bigger institutions will have some positions that are stipend for certain individuals.
And what exactly did you do? What were your tasks at the Philadelphia Museum of Art?
Well, it was kind of a museum studies internship, they call it. So they devoted one day a week to going around to all the different departments in the museum. So some weeks we were in curatorial, some weeks we were in...
So you got a nice overview of what's going on inside the museum.
Absolutely, yeah. Some weeks it was conservation, but where I spent most of my time was in the development department, which is the department that finds all the funds for the museum.
I see.
And it was a pretty amazing time to be there, because they were amidst a $125 million capital campaign. So you really got to see that department, trying to do a lot of work and bring in money for the museum.
So wow, that sounds really like having been a really fantastic opportunity to get more acquainted with museum work, various aspects of it. So what would you see as the main skills or highlights of the internships?
Well, with the Mulvane, definitely hanging exhibits, and the highlight is being able to just hang something and know all the math and be able to present something in a really professional way. I think that's a really tangible skill.
Was there anyone guiding you in that when you were doing it, or?
Yeah, of course the curators gave input, and they were of course the ones that wanted to decide where the paintings went, or sculpture, what have you. But it was really up to me to make that happen. And then of course you'd kind of go in rounds. Everything would be set, and then we would kind of sweep through it and see, okay, well, we want some things to be a little bit tighter, maybe some things pulled apart a little bit. We actually want this here. So you really got to see the process, and it was good skill for me, but it was also kind of working hand in hand with the curator. You got to see how they work too.
So was it also a good way to kind of learn about collaboration between different parts of the museum and
Absolutely.
everything comes together in the exhibition?
Yeah, because they're thinking about programming, you know, they might think about, well, if we have a speaker in the gallery, this is maybe we want to carve out a little bit of space for a speaker, or if we want to have,
Stand or sit.
yeah, or we have chairs in the gallery, maybe we're gonna, you know, those, I think those movable walls, I think are called mural walls, and you might think about how you're creating space within the gallery. So, yeah, and so it really kind of putting something together like that is all encompassing.
Wow, that's really fantastic. And when you were applying for jobs, do you think that your internships helped you in some way to be more competitive in the job market after graduation?
Definitely so. The Volland Foundation is a two-person operation, so everything is, you know, it kind of comes down to two people, and we have to be very, you know, we have to be able to jump around and put on a lot of different hats. So with my experience at the Mulvane hanging shows was very critical in me getting this job, I think, because it took out a factor at the foundation where they had to call someone from the outside to come in and hang their shows. Then you have someone in-house that is capable of doing it at a decent enough level. You know?
Well, I'm sure you're doing
I don't
a
call
great job.
myself a pro, but I think I can get by.
Great. Yeah, I should come and visit at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, it's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
You can judge my work.
Oh, I know. He was a stellar student at school, so always happy to have him in the classroom. And so, well, is there anything that you could recommend or suggest to current undergraduate students at the University of Kansas what they could do to increase their chances of getting an internship? Because I'm sure it's crucial for later on to get those on-the-job skills to be more competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you really have to respect the hustle. You know, that was a skill. If I hadn't gone in and just said, I want to do this, and it just so happened that they, you know, needed somebody to do that. I don't know if I definitely would have gotten it at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. They wouldn't have entrusted someone with my skill levels at the time to be hanging work. I don't think that was even I don't think any intern got that position. Some departments weren't filled with an intern, and I think that was one of them. Who knows what it is today? But and you know, the worst they can say is no, and you can just move on to the next. There was kind of one pseudo internship, I call it, kind of maybe an internship in name only that I did starting in high school, but extended through my time here at KU, which was fixing up a building in the North Topeka Arts District. And you know, it's moving along, kind of building year after year. But there was a building that was slated for demolition, and some family friends picked it up. And you know, very simple goal is just get it to be a usable space that the community can present work in.
Oh, that's nice.
So you know, I got really dirty, you know, doing demolition work and then building it back up, and then eventually they, with the sweat equity that I put into the space, they let me exhibit there. So
that's great.
yeah, so to build an exhibit from the ground up.
Wow.
And you know, that was all very self-directed, you know, and that's kind of where I say the hustle comes in is, you know, try to find some of these openings or just, you know.
Well, I heard about students who hang shows in their garage and invite people over. So
yeah, I think
could
that
start
is,
with that, right?
yeah, wasn't MoMA started in like what was it, a financial office building or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and people hang exhibits in hotel rooms that they rent for a weekend. I think that, you know, that's I think that's a great side of the art world that is can be engaged by someone very easily.
Well, I think we said it all.